Carbs, like carbons, come in two forms. You have the simple fools like Ryan, or the very complex mysteries like Eddie. And now, if you've been paying attention to the Haxorz lore like you should, I'm sure you know who Ryan is. But you're probably going, who's Eddie? And you won't find out who Eddie is right now. It'll be a mystery, because Eddie is a mystery. Oh yeah, my character on Haxorz was inspired greatly from my awkward feelings of self-filming with poor equipment, so my character may begin to change with the new nice camera. It becomes harder to channel those feelings. However, Haxorz is about the information comedy and lore. Only I could develop lore for a how-to show. I mean, it is comedy how-to, but still, I have lore. Lore! Anyway, enough getting sidetracked.
I'm sure you've heard of simple and complex carbs. Some people will tell you that simple carbs have no place, but that's not really true. Simple carbs do have their uses, but for most people, complex carbs are what they should be eating. Because simple carbs break down extremely quickly and flood your blood with energy, and by energy I mean glucose. Complex carbs break down slower and over time, giving you energy over time rather than in one big burst. Think about it like an explosion versus a candle burning. Simple carbs are an explosion, complex carbs are a candle burning.
Protein is kind of like carbs, but not, and kind of like fat, but not. Just eat lots of fried eggs and be happy, because eggs are incredibly well balanced nutritionally. Don't try to avoid protein. Protein is good, but not enough to eat its own part. Honestly, that is disrespectful to that nutrient. And tacos are superior. Eddie, you're not even British.
And there's not a great deal to say about protein, so I'll start getting into the lifestyles and how to tailor your diet.
I will respect your lifestyle, Eddie. I don't care. Why do you even matter, though? What is your secret?
While all three nutrients are vital for everyone, you might be starting to get the idea that carbs are not as necessary for some lifestyles. If you're extremely active, for example, if you're a construction worker, if you're about to run a short marathon, you might want simple carbs because you're going to need that burst of energy for that short time. For an active lifestyle, you're going to need more carbs than fats. You'll still need fats for joint health and if you ever need to think. Protein helps maintain your muscles and allow you to continue to work, so protein is also very important for an active lifestyle. Carbs are more important. You have to think about how active for what kind of carbs you need the most of. If you are doing a lot of strenuous activity, you'll want some simple carbs in there, just so right before you work, you can have energy. You can have a lot of energy for very hard work. If, say, you're walking 10 miles, you'll want complex carbs and probably not any simple carbs because you're going to need energy over a long term. There's not going to be a burst right at the start where you need all the energy. If you're running a mile, however, you might want some simple carbs. If you're going to be doing something extremely strenuous, you might want some simple carbs with your complex carbs, just so that you have energy right when you start. If you are not that active, you don't need as many carbs, because if you eat a bunch of simple carbs and then sit on the couch for the rest of the day, you're going to gain a lot of fat, because all of that energy is not being used. It's just flooding you right at once and going to fat. If you have a more thoughtful lifestyle, where you do a lot more thinking, you probably won't need as many carbs, because you won't be doing strenuous activity or very much physical activity at all. You'll be mostly thinking. To be able to do a lot of thinking effectively without a lot of fatigue, they are extremely important in brain maintenance. You'll also need a lot of protein. Your brain requires a lot of protein and fat, and you'll still need enough carbs to be able to function, but you won't need a great deal of carbs. You'll need primarily fat and protein. Some people might find it useful to try to think about what they're going to do in a particular day and plan what they're going to eat based on that. For example, if they expect their day to be very active, they'll eat more carbs. If they expect to have to do a lot of heavy thinking, they'll eat more fat in the short time leading up to that point. And remember that digesting nutrients is not instantaneous. You might have to start the night before to have the proper nutrients, or even the week before. The nutrient that is absorbed fastest would be the carbs, because they provide you with your energy, and you aren't getting energy from last week, you're getting energy from today. But fats and proteins, you might need to start a while beforehand to have them really be taking effect. Carbs are the only instantaneous, in a sense, nutrient.